Hi, my name is Chris Winter, and this is my semester summary for Physics 101 with David Weaver. During the course of this semester, I have learned many things, from learning to design and build 3D models to creating and editing movies, and even learning to paint a picture as well as the famous artist Tim Vermeer, even though I couldn't draw a decent picture if my life depended on it. With everything we did and the amount of time and effort I put into this class, I feel I deserve at least a B. I may have not completed everything with the requirements of a B, but the majority of my work was, which 72% of all the work that I've done was the requirements of a B. First of all, I'm going to talk about the discussions that we did on the computer. Technically, only met the requirements to get a C on the discussions. However, I did have at least the initial post on all the discussions instead of just 75% that the syllabus requires for a C, which I feel it should be considered a B because that I did more than what was needed, but because it does not meet the requirements of a B, I considered it a C on the statistics stated before. Next, we have the neat resources that David Weaver assigned us, which I thought a lot of them were very interesting. For example, I thought the invisible cloaks were still science fiction until I learned about metamaterials, which is basically us learning how to make invisible cloaks in real life. The grade I got on this assignment would be a B or a C because I did not have a 50-word abstract on any of them. However, just like the discussions, I did at least post my initial response to all the neat resources instead of just 75% that is required. After we talk about the neat resources and discussions, I'm going to talk about the cultural science projects that was assigned almost at the beginning of the semester. I'm very glad that I was able to do this assignment because I was also able to do it with my family. And I thought this was a very interesting museum where I learned a lot of things about the human body and even to do with energy, which is what my major is. The grade I got for this assignment mostly depends on whether or not you want, or David Weaver wanted double spaced or single spaced font, which I used single space and wrote one page, so according to the syllabus that would be considered a B. However, if he wanted it double spaced, that would end up actually accumulating about 2 pages, which would have been an A. And now for the cultural debate. I wasn't not able to get an A for this because I had a lot of different things happening at the time with other classes and also the business that I run at home, which is breeding German Shepherds. I had so many things happening at that time, so I was not able to finish rewriting the page. But I did, however, spend at least 10 to 15 hours researching the difference on electric cars, of how much pollution they make, how much does it actually cost to run them, which I found a lot of different things interesting about it, that it doesn't really save you too much money, but there's also lots of places that you can get pretty much free fuel. The worst benefit or default on electric cars is you can't really go that far, but I actually found a lot of these facts interesting. The reason why it took so long is because I kept finding more facts that kept improving just one of the sides, so I had to rewrite the whole thing. So I didn't really have time. I never end up having time to go to the writing center, which that time I didn't know that I can just submit it online. But I'm very glad that I did do this debate, even though that I only got the thing required for a B. I still am glad that I did the debate, because it actually changed my opinion on the electric car. And if I ever get the money, I will most likely be getting an electric car just because of this debate, because I did see that they do save a good amount of money if you get one that's one of the cheaper ones, or when I actually get the money, I most likely will get a Tesla just because they're cool. But since I did not finish the paper, I end up replying to everyone else's debate, which according to the syllabus would end up being considered a B. The last major assignment in this class was the weekly summaries, which according to the syllabus, to get a B, it is required to state what you did and what you learned from what you did, which I did not state what I learned from what we did that week on 3 out of 14 of the assignments, which I still would still be considered of the average of all the summaries would be about a B. Which, for lastly, the amount of time I spent outside of class. I did not write down how much time I spent out of class, so I don't know the exact time or amount of time that I did spend outside of class. I'm guessing I spent at least an average of 15 to 20 hours a week outside of class, not including class time on campus, just working on the homeworks and everything from this class, which David Weaver, the teacher, was not kidding that you will be spending a minimum of 12 hours a week on this class every week just to get a C to barely pass his class. So for a conclusion, these were just some of the examples why I feel I deserve a B in the class. Hopefully you enjoyed my video, and hopefully you enjoyed teaching this class, David Weaver. And because I really enjoyed learning from you. You were an amazing teacher. And I was glad of some of the things you taught me, which it does sound like how you taught us to use the Prezi, because I'm going to be end up using that for, sounds like I'm going to be end up using that for my job, because my CPD 104 teacher ended up saying that we most likely will have to make a Prezi when we get an interview at one of the power plants. So I will actually be using that, even though I still personally do not like Prezi. It sounds like I will be needing to learn it. So it's very good that I did learn how to use Prezi. I always thought that the 3D printers are really interesting. If I ever had the money, I would end up buying one, because I really like the 3D printing and learning how to do that, which I've had some experience in the past playing with those. And then I'll see you later.